Welcome to day 49 of Lessons from My Mom's Camera. If you're new here, check out the description as to what this space is all about. I want to go straight into the message because I'm really curious what my mama's message for us is for today. Let's do it.
Good morning and welcome to day 49. Gosh, time is moving so fast, and today's quote is very special. I picked it up from Covey's book. Well, this was a posthumous book. Covey had passed away, and his family, friends, and colleagues put together many of his essays, writings, and created this book, Primary Greatness. I love it because each of the chapters has a passage or a saying that Covey loved. The one that I am sharing today is from Githy. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Keith or Githy. And this is one of Covey's most special. It's not a quote, it's an advice, it's a principle, something that he urges all of us to live by. Things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. That's, the first time I read that years and years ago, when I first read The 7 Habits in 1993, I was like, wow, things that matter most must never be at the mercy of things that matter least. And the irony of life is that oftentimes the things that matter most are not urgent. They may be very important, but they're not urgent. They're not pressing upon us. They are things that, as Covey would say when he was discussing quadrant 2 time management, they are things that you know are important but you can put aside. And sometimes there's even a good excuse. We say, well, they're important but I need more time to do them. I will do them later when I have more time, when I have more energy, when I am not tired, when I'm not busy. But oftentimes that time never comes. And one of the areas in her life that suffers the most, and that is, well, I don't know about everyone, I won't speak for others, but for myself, busy. There are times when our relationships with people who really matter to us get put aside. They are important, and we know they're important. We agree they're important, but it's like, okay, let's talk later. Let's hook up later. Let's find time where we really are going to like catch up and okay, I just blanked out because I don't want to get emotional about it. Sorry. But I realized that the reality is you really need to plan to have the important things in your life, like people who matter because they're important. You need to plan time for them, and then there are times when you don't even have a plan for them, but if they're there in the moment, then you set aside whatever. And I just wanted to share, last night my daughter messaged me. Okay, my daughter messaged me and said, hey, can we chat? And I actually just started a TV program. It was really interesting. It was fun. It was funny, and I was going to watch it. And I was thinking, no, I mean, I can always do this some other time. And so I said, yeah, sure. So she called on Messenger because I'm in Oregon and she's in the Philippines. And we started chatting, and it was just great to not have this feeling of, okay, we need to wrap up. Initially, I had it because I was thinking, okay, we gotta be brief because I need to be in bed and I have my morning walk and all that. But then I decided, yeah, that's important, but this is way more important. So I just set that aside, kind of forget about the alarms that I set for myself, and she did the same, and we were just chatting, and we were talking about books because she loves books, I love books. We're talking about books, we're talking about Paris. We're talking about her childhood. It was like random conversations, and eventually when we wrapped up, it was, I don't know, I wasn't watching the time, but it was definitely over midnight, well over midnight. So we had chatted for I don't know how long, but it felt good. And I messaged her after we ended the call that, hey, that was really good, we need to do that more often. And she messaged back that, yeah, that was great. And I realized that things that matter most never, and we're not supposed to say never, but as much as possible, we should never set aside the important things in our lives. And I've been telling myself now, after that, I fell asleep last night, I've been thinking this morning, I need to plan time. I need to actually put it in my calendar, like Coffee suggested, to have these catch-ups with family, with friends, with people who matter in our lives, because ultimately all of anything else we've done is just going to fade away. But our relationships, the people who matter, who really matter in our lives, those are the relationships, those are the things that really matter. And so we need to give time for that. We need to give our energy. And I for one, I have to confess, I probably have not been very good with that. I am a 7 Habits facilitator, but I always confess when I do the workshops that habit number 3, putting first things first, which is where this is so important, the things that matter most should never be set aside for things that matter least. That's where it comes up. And I always confess that that's my biggest challenge. I do get swayed by the urgent, the things that are happening right now, the things that are fun, Facebook. And I'm really working on that. But, it will be hard to change immediately. But what I'm going to do is plan, really block time, and make sure that I do my best to respect the time that I block for family, for close friends, and for those other relationships that matter most. So think about it. And if you're not doing it yourself, start doing it. Good morning, my friends. Good afternoon. Good evening. I will see you tomorrow.
I knew somehow, even before she led up to that example, I already had a feeling. I'm like, yeah. Man. She thinks, like, that's so funny that she's saying, like, oh, I should plan and schedule more time. I remember that, though. I remember. She would say, let's make this a regular weekly thing. That's the thing. I think she might not have realized that she was always there. Not just for me, but for all of us. We never felt like we were, second priority. I feel so spoiled by the presence and the patience that she gave. Even as a grown adult. That's why I say the word appropriately. Like, I feel so spoiled because as a grown woman, I would still look for my mama. And she would always be there. Even until now. What this reminds me, though, what this message reminds me, is the gratitude I feel that I get to spend time with my siblings and my nieces and nephews. It's also a reminder to reach out to my brother in Canada. But, and also, I actually messaged my cousin in Australia. So we just had our first phone call, video call yesterday. Like, ever since. I mean, she was a baby when I was already like 12. She was a baby. And then she never got to visit the Philippines, so this is actually the first time that we've talked. And then the other reminder that this message brings is, what have I been setting aside that's actually a priority to me? Like music, songwriting, the things that I've always wanted to do and always get set aside. May this video and message be a commitment and devotion to myself to create containers for the things that truly nourish me. Thank you, Mama, for the message, and maybe we could still continue that conversations through these videos. Not maybe. We're still continuing those conversations, Mama, through these videos. See you guys tomorrow for day 50.